Okay, let's revisit this. Okay, so I had already covered the story, but I removed everything because I didn't want their damn people even over here because they're a bunch of cockroaches. Um, so let's go through this again and show how this is human trafficking and what it sounds like, what it looks like, and who these men hunt for. And Hollywood Reporter did a decent job actually questioning him about it. I don't know, it just came out, but everybody was fine with it, and they're continually enabling this conduct because they see women as objects, and so you wouldn't see any problem with Hugh Hefner. And why are you asking Kendra, who was drunk and on drugs and doing all kinds of crazy stuff back then, and she was a teen? I mean, she has major problems, so she's gonna be like, I saw nothing. Yeah, probably because she was blitzed out of her mind for half of that, and then the rest of it, she just normalized it as being okay and being a commodity like that. I mean, it's not her taking control. She's basically, yeah. Anyways, it's annoying. It's more annoying that the public is not helping her to get help, and she does have things going on. So, Corey explains they don't have to sleep with me, but they can. They don't have to sleep with me. Okay, so this was done in 2016. It was not that long ago. We're talking, what, 8 years ago? And I had kept bringing it up for the past couple of years. And I go, oh, where's Homeland? I guess Homeland's totally cool with this. Yeah. I need this garbage right here. And no. So let me try to explain to you why this is wrong, men and women. The women up in here are so disgusting. Like, they're so dumb too. Like, they're promoting men to abuse women, and then they start degrading the woman. And I'm like, no, he's the hunter and he's the gold digger, and he was the one actually trying to get women so he can make money and further his career. And asking for $10 million. So I'm saying if he allegedly makes that type of money, government needs to investigate his finances, because there's been a lot of word going around. And while I can't necessarily say it's true, if you read this, you'll see it probably is true. So one of the words around town, like some of the words around town, is that he was actually procuring people to these men. That would include boys, but I can't say for sure. But when you read this, and also in his book. So in his book, because you guys have double standards for men, you guys cry about, oh, what about men? Well, in his book, he's talking about how he gave his friend to an older man. And I'm like, yeah, that's human trafficking. That's it. That's it. That's just the action of it. They use the derogatory term prostitution, which is actually a different thing, which is what is constituted as sex work today, right? So that is a action of consensual people making an agreement to do whatever, okay? Human trafficking is a different thing, where you're taking a human and something's being done against their will or under coercion or situational things. And you're going to see the situational thing right here, and something that he demanded. And there's something here. So there is a difference. While sex work can be involved in human trafficking, it does not necessarily have to be involved in it at all. You have labor trafficking. You have all kinds of different things of people forcing people into situations, and such as the homeless situation. Yeah, picking up a random homeless person and taking them against their will anywhere is a form of that. And it could be a form of kidnapping. It usually also includes things like kidnapping and rape, because the person is not an object or seen as a full human, so they're seen as like slavery, slave and all this thing. So he starts going into this subservient thing, which is AKA the word loyalty. But subservient, like, you need to totally like worship me and not go against me and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so this was out here, and Hollywood Reporter was questioning him about all this conduct. And who did he learn by? Hugh Hef, right? And we were talking about all that, and then how they scouted out, right? And then they tried to scout me out. But I didn't even know, like, the way that I viewed this was like, I'm not into doing that thing over there, but to each their own, blah, blah, blah. And so then they try to come to me, or at least those little scouter dudes that were trying to come to me, the guy that was related to, okay, I think the thing was that they said that the guy was related to Drew Barrymore's half brother. I think that's how it went. It was something like that in the whole, scheme of this stuff. So, no, it was like semi-legit. I guess they were probably just trying to cash in and trying to like scout out to get some more girls for him. And I was like, nah, dude, I ain't doing nothing like that. So then all these other stories came out. So, but in the meantime there, I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't know. I mean, I assumed it was as it is right now. But then they did the TV show, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just me being like, maybe, I should be okay with that. It was like this. It kind of went back and forth right there. Because I feel like I got manipulated in that section. And then when they came back out, it was almost like, oh, that's exactly what I thought was going on a long time ago. And it was really weird. And then my mom, my crazy mom, was like saying, oh, Playboy, like it was the greatest thing ever, and that like I should do it. And then started doing this flip-floppery of like, she doesn't condone my other job. I go, my other job's about education, like consent. It was supposed to be. There's a lot of effery in that too. Like as I'm going back into that thing, I go, oh, I was like, oh yeah, they had parties too. Now the problem with those type of parties in an environment like this, if you're in a party like that and something bad's going on, it is kind of hard to know sometimes because you don't know what, like the person that it's being done to. Like you could pass by and then think, oh, that's all consensual, because you don't know that they're maybe plastered drunk, or they're under some type of thing there. So it is like, when I was thinking about it, I go, yeah, I mean, I was at these other parties, I go, yeah, there was a lot of crazy stuff. It was more crazy than that Diddy thing where they were showing, that thing. And I was just kind of like, I mean, there wasn't any of this like swimming pool action and fully naked going on trying to force people to drink. No, but there was other stuff going on. And I was kind of like, I heard stories about the men being bad, and not listening to the word no. So yes, I did, but did I see that? No, I don't recall seeing that. But I remember a lot of stories, and then the girls were talking about the guys and blah, blah, blah. So, no, but it has happened. And so, no, you're gonna have a lot of that going on, where people could have been at an event and then didn't really realize what they were seeing in the middle of some bullshit, right? So, no, I'm going to give them that much room. As far as like people that were not total regulars, like if you just came in and you're just in this thing and you don't know any of those people, it just depends. It depends. It's a situational thing. It's hard to say, and for sure. But I know who the liars are. I know who the liars are. This dude. Big time. We knew, you guys. The whole thing was them trying to spin off the heat from them being caught doing horrible things. And then what they do is they pretend they didn't hear anything, such as people like Keisha and all those other people. They literally ignored it. They kept saying, oh, we love their work, so we're going to totally disregard that everybody's getting harmed up in here. And there was a lot of people. I mean, it wasn't just these girls, but there was a lot of people. They got on my radar because they started dealing with the people that I did, and I know what they're about. And so should they. And the fact that they want to come up in here and go, oh, I'm a victim. I'm like, great, dude. So then why would you enable that crap for other people? So that was my thing with these people. But anyways, but I did, if I'm going to look into something, I'm going to talk to certain people to get more information, because this person right here can never tell the truth. They spin things continuously, and the women just eat it up. And I'm just like, I don't get it, because it's not like he's anything. But it's all the Today Show. Darling explains the concept behind his 360 management, development, and production entity, which started when girls he met at Playboy Mansion told him they had ambitions to act and make music. You know, it's so messed up. It's like, this is everybody's dream. Men have these dreams. But for some reason, when men have these dreams, it's totally fine. And so they come in here going, oh, I'm going to help you out. It's like, who the hell are you? Was Corey Feldman ever somebody in the music industry? No. So he would not be the one to help you out. But anyway, he was looking for these girls that were like, I'm just trying to go after a dream. That's who he hunts for. He's a hunter, and he's trying to look for prey. And that's where he lived most of the time, at the mansion, because he doesn't have any typical normal social life to hang out with normal people and have a normal relationship, because he is a wacko. So, I'm like, because he's a wacko. Okay, so he has a knack for making headlines, because he makes stuff up and he gets, like, people to look at him because he's a hot mess. It's like watching a car crash. He's like, I like helping them. No, you like preying on them and trying to take advantage of them and then doing other stuff. So because he's all to help girls who are kind of lost. They're lost. They need to come to Corey because he's totally Jesus Christ. And they needed help to find their way through Corey. Okay, so he's going to start manipulating your life. Yeah, so he's looking for that lost soul that is like trying to become something, and that's down and out most of the time. And then he's going to claim some things. And then, yeah, so they start off as like, hi, how are you doing? He's like, I'm hanging in there. A lot of stress right now in my life, but trying to do the right, keeping myself composed and figure my navigation through it all. What's the source of your stress, dude? Oh, my Lord. Have you not heard everything going on? Being the #1 trending topic on Facebook, Yahoo, Twitter, all over the world for the last week. It's pretty intense when things like that happen. And when it's been not all bad, not all good, just a lot of ups and downs, kind of a roller coaster, really. It's just a stressful time. He's enjoying every part of that attention because he's a narcissist. Okay. But ultimately, the goal of your appearance on Today's Show is to get attention for the record, which you've done. So it has to be a good thing. Absolutely. I think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so this is when you do that crazy hooded thing, I think. Okay, so it goes down. I saw Miley Cyrus give you supportive shout out. Yes, that was beautiful. And remember, at this time, they were all like hanging out with, all these people were hanging out with R. Kelly and Terry Richardson, and all these people were predators, and all these victims were telling them. Like they were telling them. I mean, outright telling these people. And they turned around with the middle finger to victims. Okay, I'm just pointing it out. These are the people, okay, all these people up in here. And and then once like the media catches wind and they start slamming down on them, do you notice all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm a victim. That's why I'm a piece of bully crap. Okay, no, because even if you were ignorantly doing it, we'll just put it this way, you were ignorantly doing that, the last thing you're going to do is go bully other people or flip them off or, try to rub it in their face because they think that doing that is somehow, I don't know. I just wouldn't act that way. Someone's like, my friend is a rapist. And so the next thing I do, I'm going to be like, yeah, let's joke around about rape with each other. Yeah, that's a mental problem. So that's these people. And guess who else is involved in it? Okay, Keisha and Pink. So all these people are total bullies, okay? I don't care about their damn stories. Pink wants to sit there and degrade other people for them not being as privileged as her. And then saying something about the whiskey running dry. And I go, yeah, that's why we're sane, dude. We ain't a bunch of drunks and addicts. So I don't know. You're actually putting people down for that? I don't know. So, no. And Keisha has been a multi-time offender. So there's just a lot of things here. And, and I give people room. We know that everybody F's up, okay? And no one's perfect in this story. But these people go up and beyond, okay? This is up and beyond. It's not, oh, I'm going to go correct my thing. It's trying to make excuses for them being horrible humans, supporting this crap. And then Corey actually harmed a bunch of girls. And then they just ignore that. They're like, well, he's my friend. And then Drew Barrymore have him up on there, ignoring all that. None of these girls care about the male victims also in these stories. And they claim, a lot of these women claim, it's like, oh, we got to listen to male victims while their friends here that they're supporting harmed other men. Okay. So that went into that. And then it says, tell me about the angels. Who are those women specifically? You sort of, intimated that they were homeless or in trouble and you saved them. He says, no, I never indicated that they were homeless. Although we have worked with girls who were, I won't say homeless. Yeah, they literally didn't have a place because his ex right now doesn't have a place, I guess, allegedly. I mean, she probably stays somewhere, but she doesn't technically. So, but certainly in desperate circumstances. So that's what he's looking for. And looking for a way out. And then Corey seeks them out and pops in and gets his victim. I mean, this world is a very cruel place sometimes. And when you're a beautiful woman, if you're an artist and then you turn 18, they pack their bags and have their dream. Oh, turn 18? No, they were not turning 18 out here, honey. I was not 18. I was 16 years old when I actually first contacted a perpetrator clan over here that They pack their bags and have their dreams of a big city, and then they get eaten up after a month or two with all the predators out here. So you have awareness that y'all be a bunch of predators. That includes your pals over there. And you helped cover that up. You did, because they were all your friends. So if you have friends up in here, you didn't even name those people. You didn't name those people. They don't have to be preying on you or him or anything else. You didn't name those people and you were hanging out with them. Okay, so here are people that want to take advantage of them. I mean, unfortunately, that's the game, Yeah, and then you're doing it. Okay. So, there are no romantic intentions beyond your management pursuits. That's what he's saying. Or whoever's doing the interview. I would have to look up again. But so they're trying to see if he's like trying to go prey on the victims that come in. So then he goes like this. Well, the whole thing started, honestly, with girls that I was dating. And, before I met Courtney, I was a bit of a playboy. And, certainly not in a bad way. I mean, this is ridiculous. I was never a player, per se. I was never the guy that would, date women and tell them they were the one and only. So basically he's saying he just dates everybody just in the open. Like somehow this is better how he treats and views women. But anyway, and then secretly date 5 other girls. A lot of the girls that I was dating, were all kind of telling me, telling me the same thing, which is like, hey, I have a passion for art, or, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I'm an actress. Well, yeah, that would be a lot of us out here because this is kind of like the hub for that whole entertainment world, right? So most people that you run into out here probably will say things like that. It doesn't mean come and prey on me, but he's like, but a lot of them were selling themselves short. Now, this is his personal opinion, and he's going to be the one to fix it. Okay, so they were going and trying to do Playboy, which he was jealous of because he wants to be Hugh Hef. He's like, you know what? I'm going to be Hugh Hef, and I'm going to start steering these women to my house. And he goes, and that was their biggest goal. To be kind of a glam girls TNA model, that type of stuff. And Corey's Angels came out of that. He's all, we started by doing these parties. Okay, so these parties were a big problem, and I've talked about this too. So the parties that these people were having, not necessarily him, there's been a lot of people having these parties, and they're around like a public business, and they do not check IDs at the door. They were having minors come in. They were making money. So they make bank at these private parties at these mansions. And there's been a tank of bad stuff at these parties, and they don't report. It is more than likely they do not report this income to IRS. Okay, so these men have been skating on that, and they make a lot of money at these type of events. Like it is the boss that we used to work with, like I said, he said that he makes more money doing the parties than all of us working for the week. So he likes to cut down our work time back in the day. I don't work for him now because he's dead. But back in the day, they would cut down the work time and then have these parties and events. And he would rake in all this money for the week doing that. Now, did he report that? I doubt it. But I was saying, I go, they weren't swingers parties. They weren't parties like the Playboy Mansion. They were just within the community parties. But again, saying, there's some bad stuff that probably did happen at those. I was forced to stay because I had to temporarily stay over there, and I didn't want to be a part of the parties. That's ridiculous. So no. Oh, and these parties were really just for branding and for promotion and getting people familiar with the idea of Corey's Angels. See, it's all about him, though. Like, do you know any of those girls that he was promoting out here, other than the one that he ends up with, right? But you don't know them, and it's like procuring girls to other men at these parties, like for other purposes. We wanted to look like a Playboy party. Well, there was a bunch of sex acts at the Playboy party, and there's been a lot of rapists over there and a lot of setups in that situation. So he's wanting to mimic that, and it'll be that kind of vibe. But once the dust settles, we can explain to everybody what we're really about, human trafficking. But then these crazy BS rumors started, and all this negative backlash was created by the bottom feeder press. The press here was actually doing their job, questioning this thing here. What were their accusations? He goes, there was no real accusations. It was just about shaming. It was like they took really awful pictures. They said, can we come and basically experience one of your events, and we'll write an honest essay, and it'll be kind of a puff piece on your parties and show everybody how great they are and how amazing they are. And I said, well, I guess that's okay. But they wrote an article, and it sounded kind of punkish and kind of, too cool for school and style writing. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that it was, okay, on a side note, I was thinking it was Vice that contacted me that wanted me in a documentary. Okay, so one of these outlets, I believe it was a person that had worked with Vice, and then they were doing a side documentary on this subculture, this other thing. And they wanted me to do it for free. And I was so offended by this. I go, you're going to do a documentary, and why do you want me in it? I feel that they're going to sit there and try to create me as some type of freak. Like, I don't know, is the way it came off. It was just really weird. It's like, why wouldn't you pay me? And I'm not going to go do a documentary for you so you can get credit and get money and sit there and paint me in a way that I can't control. And I want to control that because they don't understand it's entertainment, number one. But two, there is lifestyle people out here. And so to try to explain this to the public takes a lot more than just a documentary, really. I mean, it's an educational thing as well. And no, they were making fun of us. That included Stephen Colbert, and it caused some weird stuff here. Like, these people are idiots, like everybody involved in this. And so I think it was Vice, but the way that Vice went at them was actually pretty funny, because but that technically, I don't know. Yes, I didn't know much about their style or what type of magazine it was or anything else. See, but for me personally, I was already kind of like, yeah, I don't trust that. Because when you okay something like that, you basically okay them to put it in any which way that they want to, and you don't have control of it. You just don't. And then you don't even get paid for it. Like, if I'm going to sit there and let somebody do that, you're going to pay me for it. And I was saying I only did one single interview in that universe over there. I done other interviews for the music side of things, but no, I've only done one single interview in that whole context of universe over there, and it was rather I don't know, it's very different. I think people are just probably like, what? Yeah, but to each their own, right? We're all individuals. So I thought I'd throw my little spin on it, and then I was the one able to control how I answered things. So yeah. Because I don't want them answering it for me, because they don't know anything about it. So I'm basically educating them on things that they don't understand. So when I saw, the original article, it kind of came off, it sounded a bit pompous and a bit like they were kind of demeaning to the women, making all the girls look like they were trash or something. Um, Basically, they probably shouldn't have been talking about the girls in that way, and they should have been more focused on you and your bad thing here. So it really diverted from the whole mission of what we were trying to do. Who's we, right? We's gonna come in with Courtney, but it's basically him. We is Corey. Okay, so we had to shut down the parties, shut down the website, get away from all of that, because the whole thing was being twisted. It wasn't being twisted, it was as they were saying, and turned to make it look like we were running some kind of, prostitution ring or something. Actually, it would be more a human trafficking ring than the P ring, because, as we said, the actual proper terminology for that would be a sex worker, right? Sex workers. Now, they may be up in here, I'm sure they are with Corey, but when you're talking about things against their will or lured into or doing these other things, it would be human trafficking. So he's like, or something. So he knows exactly what they were talking about. And so he freaked out and he just stopped the whole thing. But he was doing that. So they keep questioning him. I was like, they keep questioning him. He's like, I see. Is a contract. Wait, I see there is a contract that you make Corey's angels sign. And I am questioning this right now because Courtney is now divorcing him or divorced him. And she's talking in a way that's making me question, did they sign something where she can never say anything terribly bad about him? And maybe, this thing about the income thing, just a lot of things about this. And I go, yeah, because here's what happened early on, if you've missed all this. So no, that's not real. He claims this is not real, but then it turns out, yes, it is. Okay, so that was part of the celebrity wife swap I did. They made that up. So now he puts it on them. And they asked us to go along with it as a joke. I was like, oh yeah, it's totally funny. Yeah, and now everybody's thinking that it's real. It's not. That was all a joke. It's part of reality TV and people are taking it seriously. So now he's gaslighting you, saying it's all fake. It's just TV, you guys. Celebrity Wife Swap contract. The contract says they have to promise to maintain their weight and they have to eat meat-free diet. And this is true actually in real life for Feldman. There's actually some back funny stories in this whole thing, but leave that for other people. Um, well, I mean, yeah, there are. So here he goes back. He's like, well, I mean, yeah, there are certain rules that we have. Like now it's like, yes, that is true. That's what they based the contract on. So it's not a joke. It's actually that he really did have this, and then they based the contract on reality. It's reality TV. So they're like, oh, okay. Boom, boom, boom. He's all, the rule is if you have an issue with your weight and that's something that you're concerned with, and that is something that you want our help with, who the hell wants his help with a diet? Then, and he actually right now is on the way to Vince, but okay, so then we will help you and we can advise you, and our plan is don't eat meat, because he's a vegetarian, vegan, I don't know, one of the two, right? He doesn't eat meat. I don't know if he eats fish, but he don't eat meat. So he's like, don't drink alcohol, but you could do a tank of drugs, you guys. Okay, that's a great way to get your weight down, because we know this. Yeah, so scientific, dude. So he wants to control how you eat. This is like one of the worst case scenarios in these human trafficking stories, and, you know, men trying to control women in all kinds of ways, is control their eating. So it was based on reality, where he initially denies it and says it's a joke, and then comes back when they question him and go, oh no, that's actually real. There you go. And a different thing, is it a talent agency, or how do you build this Angels organization? Yeah, like they're asking him like business wise, like what the hell is it? So he goes, we call it a 360 management, development, and production entity. We find, who's we? Again, it's just him. I find the girls that we think are, first of all, virtuous and honest, and aka subservient. Loyal, subservient. Because if they don't have integrity, and they're not straight shooters, which Corey never is, then we probably don't want to be, you know, getting behind them. Seem to be a good fit, then fit for what? Like, he never answered, like, you know, it's like, fit for what? Fit to be subservient to me, then we will focus on their talent. But first, you must be subservient to me, and then I might help you into the industry. Yes. Okay. We'll get photos done for them. Well, you know, actually, photos are pretty easy to get around town. It's just, you gotta be careful of these photographers. I mean, Corey's gonna pull out his, like, little Insta camera, his toss away. We'll take them out to events. That's so Corey can be seen with pretty women. And that happened to me with their pals over there, that wanted to take me to Jerry's Deli and show me off at the front door, knowing that the paparazzi are out there. Y'all fucking did that shit to me, and I didn't even know. Like, it wasn't even a thing that I even knew. It was like, oh, I want to keep taking you to dinner. Like, they kept asking me to take me to dinner for like 6 years, man. It was like a long time. And I finally go, F it, let's just do it and shut up, you know? And then they take me to Jerry's Deli. And I'm like, I don't even know what this place is. And he gets a place right at the front door. Like, literally where my back is, right at the front door. And then I find out all this stuff later. I was like, oh, that's why they did that. Like, they literally asked for this seat. So when the Hollywood bigwigs come into Jerry's Deli, it's so stupid. Like, this whole thing, this universe of people are a bunch of wackos. Once they come into the, you know, the place, They're like, oh, look at this pretty girl that I'm with. Do you see her? And I got manipulated into going. So here's what happens here. We'll take them out to events. That's so Corey can go, these are my girlfriends. Look at all the pretty women I have around me. Yeah, yeah, human trafficking ring. So we'll get them auditions. And they don't need you to get auditions. I mean, you could get an agency for that, but technically, I did auditions. The main agency that I was dealing with, they would just go, oh, there's some auditions coming out. They just told me about the auditions, but I didn't need them to do the auditions. As long as you heard about the audition, then you could go try to go to them or send your things out. But anyway, whatever we can do for them, which was nothing. We're going to use them in my band. I don't know. But we'll also create our own in-house production stuff, like our music videos, like the album. Dear God. So this is funny. So they finally go, who is we? And I've done this too. So it's like a formal, like usually it's like a formal way of like saying yourself. But, but this is actually ridiculous the way they're talking about it. You keep saying we. Who is we exactly? Well, it's me. And the people that work with my company. I was like, who are the people that work with your company? It's like, how many people? My girlfriend, Courtney, who's like an assistant human trafficker over here. No, she's like, I think she is mentioned as being one of the abusers in this thing, but at the same time, you guys, like, she's absolutely manipulated by this guy. It's another kind of like Allison Mack story, right? Where it's like you have this main perpetrator. He manipulates the main girl. Then the main girl becomes this major cult member and then starts getting all these other girls, and then they all harm the other girls, right? So basically that's her thing in this. But also at the same time, she's not sober. That's another thing. None of them are. Okay, so in my number one, and his number one partner, this is so stupid. He has no personality, you guys. He literally rips off different people's personalities. He steals stories from other victims. He tries to become, you guys are actually seeing him become Michael Jackson, Hugh Hefner, and Charlie Sheen. So these are three people that he looks up to, and it's a mix of those things. And then he sings like Alice. Okay, but I have two managers that work with us. So now we have some other men that were involved in this. We have photographers. Okay, well, who are these perpetrator photographers? It's just a team of people. Yeah, so this was his explanation for that. Do the women all live with you in your house? Okay, no. Okay, so he can't even be honest. So he's like, no, right away. Right away he lies. And then he walks it back. Sometimes they do because, again, like I said, we have worked with girls who are literally down and out. And that's exactly who he goes after. Who have nothing. Yeah, exactly. So they're desperate and think that you're going to help them out in this universe of Hollywood. Because you use your fame, your early fame, because you didn't do anything in this point, but to try to get them to do things and lie about it and whatever you're going to do here. And then go after people who believe that you could actually help them. But you're telling them that you could help them. That's a different thing. You're telling them that you could help them. They'll be like, I have nothing. I need a place to stay. I need wardrobe. I need help with makeup. If I'm going to go out and be at red carpet events, I need help. Yeah, because that's what he's trying to make them do. That's what he's trying to make them do. And so they're like, in the real true context, they're like, if you're going to make me do that, I gotta, you need to make me look good because you're the one that's wanting me to look like your girlfriend up in here. It's basically that thing. He's like, because I have nothing. So we'll say, it's just him, hey, look, it's okay. You can come stay here. That's cool. We'll help you out. Tag, tag. But all we ask is that you're subservient. Loyal. I don't know. This is so ridiculous. This thing right here. You got some support from some big feminists. No, those are not feminists. Pop stars like Pink, Keisha, that went through a rape trial. Look at your birthday. Yeah, Keisha, who is all over other perpetrators, is totally fine with it. Ignores everybody. Has whatever her problems were over there. And I supported the crap out of her, okay? So, no, she evil. And Pink over here talking crap about everyone. I mean, in the way that, I'm fine with the critical thing. Like, she'll talk about Madonna or any of these things. Like, that stuff's like one thing. But it was like, she was degrading people online for not having their dream or being able to live their dreams, like Pink, because, you know, she's totally special. And then, like, just degrading in that way, how she views other people as a whole in that way. And no, she's like a total classist. And so, and she also, what has she done? Did she out anybody? I mean, she didn't do anything. You know what I mean? It's just like, why is she going to have a problem with this? She don't have a problem with this. Keisha didn't have a problem with this. Gaga didn't have a problem. Nobody. None of those women did, okay? And they're all out here anyway, half naked anyway. So why would they care about seeing photos of all these women doing that? Because they don't even see any wrong with the conduct. It's the conduct of this guy. So, anyways, they say, what do you think they would think about it? They're like, they go, all the men are wearing regular clothes and the women are wearing pasties. Yeah, like the women are all half naked and then it's like all the men are all suited up and wearing regular clothes. He's like, that's not true. The men were wearing pajamas. Well, men's pajamas are typically those long pants. You guys keep wearing those long pants and those button-down tops. You might as well just be in full suit. So, no, your thing is to have women halfway naked and sit there and have parties so you can go prey on them. That's it. So he's like, I mean, the men's bodies are completely covered. He's like, it was a pajama party. Like, duh, guys should be totally covered, okay? Yeah, like this thing. So they go like this. I think a concern, quote unquote concern, here is that you're taking a Hugh Hefner approach to mentoring talent. He goes, correct, you're right. It's like, and that could be criticized as being anti-feminist or just, you know, not so great for women. So he goes like this. Right, yeah. So our whole model was, look at the time that I was doing this. I was going to the Playboy Mansion on a regular basis because I'm a loser and I can't go out and just like meet people and it's just doing things that you like to do. And he's like, I was very close with Hef because I was really close with Hef so I can get all the girls that I want to manipulate. I was very close with the Playboy family. And to me, that was just normal, okay? Because it was a family and that was the way that I viewed it, you know? Like now he's like kind of trying to be like, I'm blaming that. I was up there literally every Sunday, like watching. Oh, you weren't at church, honey? You talk about Jesus the whole time. Jesus must be Hugh Hef. Because you go out Sunday service at the Playboy Mansion with Crystal and them and all his girlfriends. I'm sure they love that. It's just something they put up with. He's like, so basically I was raised at the Playboy Mansion. You know, you think he's like raised with Michael Jackson. But it is. It's like a combo of all these people. And they're all a hot mess. Don't you think the models might be damaging for women? I do. That's what he said, and he's up there every Sunday. And that's why I decided to pull away from it. He's like, after about 3 decades, he's like, you know, I ain't getting anywhere with these women. I want to be Hugh. So I'm going to start manipulating them away from his McMansion to my house. Which is why you will notice there's never been one nude photo or naked photo shoot from anything from Corey's Angels event. Ever. That doesn't matter because that's not the thing that makes this bad. That's not the thing that makes this bad. And the victims over there have even spoken on that. They're like, I have no problem posing nude. Okay, so that has nothing to do with the problems going on here. But if they did add that on there as part of their coercion to do something like that, and they didn't want to do that to begin with as well, yeah, so then there's additional things in that. So, again, they go pretty close, though. That's what they said. He goes, look, first of all, I don't think nudity is anything wrong. I think the natural naked body is beautiful. Look at what Miley Cyrus does. All right, so he's checking out Miley. And he's like, she's the perfect example. Actually, there was some critique in some of that. Not because there was a lot to be said about that little thing over there. And then there was perpetrators everywhere in that thing too as well. And they okayed it. And then her actions there were inappropriate. Like how they were responding to a perpetrator. She uses her sexiness. She uses her sex appeal. And she is proud of who she is. Well, most narcissistic people are, and they don't give a shit about how they're acting towards other victims. But anyway, that's what being a woman is all about. Oh, really? Oh, okay. I haven't read this in a while, but yeah. Being a woman about is like using it. I don't know, but it's just I don't know, but that's his perception of this. I was like, that thing, and it's the way he's putting it. So let me say, okay, you should feel comfortable. You should feel proud of your body. Sure, dude. But who are you to be like prancing it around like a show dog? Okay, you should feel proud of who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, you should not feel proud of who you are. This person right here, you should not feel proud of. And on top of that, you're claiming you're being somebody else. And no. But most modeling agencies represent men and women. You're just focusing in on women. That could throw your motives into question. Yeah. Well, that's because you choose to see it that way. Oh, now he's going to gaslight you. It's your fault because of the way you're viewing him. I mean, I'm sorry that you view it that way or anyone else would view it that way. But at the end of the day, again, I had major issues with women in my life. Yeah, so therefore you shouldn't be doing anything with women at all. Because you ain't fixed, dude. He's like, okay, my mom abused me. This is the craziest thing in the middle of this conversation. It just comes out, right? The personality disorder come out right here. It just randomly pops up because they touched on something about him. And he just starts going in, my mama abused me. And I got problems with women, okay? So that's why I sit there and focus on them and abuse them in this way. Like, basically. So he's like, my mom was not your stereotypical mother. And, you know, there was mental abuse. And there was physical abuse. And there was sexual abuse. And there was all sorts of stuff. And I also happened to be in an 18 serious relationship in a row where every woman I gave my love and complete 100% integrity and honesty and loyalty to all cheated on me. And these relationships ended one after another. Like, it's freaking crazy. It's like your motives. Or ask him about his motives. And he goes into this thing about how he has problems with women. I choose to only deal with women because I was abused by women. Okay? And I got mental health issues because of it. That's what he's saying. This interview is so good because they're breaking down the personality disorder by continually asking deeper and deeper questions. So they go, so could Corey's Angels be seen as a way to sort of control women? Yeah, it is. But let's see what he says. No, it's a way to help them. Is that not psychotic? It's just psychotic. I could see, like, if we could get in and mold them while they're still young and impressionable, while they're moldable, so to speak, we can help them and make the right choices. Grooming. This is how their brain operates, you guys. It is scrambled eggs. This is what I'm talking about. But they did a good job in questioning the personality disordered human in these steps. Okay, so the steps. So they're asking him how his brain is operating, basically. And this is how he perceives it. Human trafficking. This is how he perceives it and how he perceives women and why he's doing the things he's doing. Like, it literally just went in, I have mental health issues because women abuse me. And so now I want to help them, which makes no sense. But anyway, he's like, but I'm here to help them. And I am going to mold them into my ideal women when they're young and impressionable and basically down and out. And he could take advantage of them and do these things and help them make the right choices. Well, what are these choices? Because as the ex is speaking, she's being honest about them doing drugs and partying up. Corey here wanted to tell us in the public that everybody's lying on him and these women are all liars and that he didn't do any of that. And yet they got busted right on tour. And they were saying that, no, him and hiding stuff, and they gave me this, and he did stuff to me. And LAPD is over here just helping him out, dude. And I guess he has a brother in LAPD as well. Help me understand this. You're the one saying there, and he has total flags here from years and years and years, and how you let this guy go. Ask LAPD, ask Homeland, ask all these people that are the ones in charge to take somebody like this down. Anyway, so could Corey's Angels be seen as a sort of way to control women? So we went through that. They go, okay, help me understand this. You're the one saying there are these dangerous figures in Hollywood who swoop in on vulnerable young people who come to Hollywood with dreams. And that's literally what you're describing to me that you do. So they're being very honest. I love this interview because it was the only one that was like actually not letting him get away with this bullshit. And they kept even going deeper and deeper. And they're saying, this is what it sounds like, dude. And they go, you're telling me women get off the bus, they're down and out, and they're trying to break in, and they're doing porn. No, the difference is oh my God, you're not giving me an opportunity to explain it. You're making judgments. Do you see that? He's such a socio. He got mad and flipped it back on them, but that's did he not just say all this stuff? The interview is totally psychotic. And no, it is not an act, you guys, of him on stage. It's not. That's actually a real person who's actually very troubled. He goes, sorry, please explain. So they're trying to be nice. They're like, okay, explain. So he goes, okay, well, it's very clear. We are giving women the love and support that they need to know that they are beautiful the way they are. Yeah, okay. Okay, that they are good enough the way they are. And that they don't have to sleep with me. They don't have to sleep with anyone ever. But he's not against it. That's another thing about this. He's like, they don't have to sleep with me. But, you know, and then there was those allegations about all this conduct, right? And so when they take advantage of people on drugs or any of those things, so this stuff was going on. Okay, is there a minimum age requirement? We're against prostitution, yes, 18. Okay, that's not prostitution, by the way. Okay, so this right here was not a proper way to respond to this. Is there a minimum age requirement? Okay, so if there's kids under 18, that is child human trafficking. So sex work cannot be done by kids. Okay, that is all human trafficking. So again, he like has no concept, like it's in his brain, like he's like, I don't know. It's just like he doesn't even want to say the word human trafficking. And it's just, wait, what year? Oh, yeah, it's 2016, right? Yeah, they were already using the term then. So yeah, he could use the term. Yes, 18. Okay, they go 18. Because I don't work with children in the industry, I don't believe in that. So the whole point, well, we actually caught him flirting with some kids up online. And then, like, ready to go at them once they turn 18, things like that. Yeah, so he was caught doing that. There were screenshots, plenty. So, okay, so the whole point that I'm trying to hold on, because I know I need it to finish this, okay? It's very important to me that people know that I am not okay with stripping. I mean, how ridiculous is this? I'm not okay with stripping. I'm not okay with porn. Yet your best friend was Ron Jeremy. Okay, I'm not okay with prostitution. I think it's demeaning and degrading to women. Well, no, sex work on its own is something where a woman, if it's sex work, right, is something that a woman is making a choice for herself, and you don't have to be a part of it. The second half of it is human trafficking, which is your bullshit up in here, which is telling women what to do and trying to groom them into a person that you wanted to control. And you're actually outing that you have mental health issues towards women and you're totally off kilter. Nobody asked you if you are okay with stripping. You're totally okay with stripping. What type of ridiculousness is this? Why would you hang out at the Playboy Mansion if you're against stripping? Why would you go to the Playboy Mansion if you're against porn? Like this whole thing about it, right? And then you want to model yourself after people in that industry. That's him, right? Okay. It's just a psychotic thing to read, and that people think he's some poor victim. I go, he ain't no poor victim today. He ain't no poor victim. He was a victim as a little child. That's about it. I saw you tweeted about the radar story that Corey Haim's attacker might be identified, and you said it would be a huge relief. And what did you mean by that? I can't get into that. I'm sorry. But you tweeted about it. He goes, yeah, I did. And that's all I have to say. That's the end of this, you guys. Dude, and I almost think that all three people that he tries to be like, I forgot which person, where that actually comes from. It was mirroring or some weird thing and is a personality disorder. I don't know. It's part of the cluster of these like socio guys, because I guess Kevin does it too, right? I talked about that. The people that he mimics, somehow he turns it around saying they stole that from me. Things that he's done. It is like, okay, so in some cases with some perpetrators, right? So if they get them when they're children, they may do things like that to try to like, it's part of a grooming thing. Like they start like mimicking the kid. And, like we're a lot alike type of thing. Like they might do stuff like that. But I think he was trying to say that Michael like stole his move. I don't know, dude. There was a bunch of weird things like that, and that Hugh Hefner something. And what was it about Hugh that he said? He said some weird thing. It was just the whole thing is just like, what? And then he says really mean things about Sheen. And I was trying to get to the bottom of that fight there with Sheen and all them. The only thing I can get from the story is that Dom was extraordinarily jealous that Haim was hanging out with Sheen, and that is probably most likely is why the lie came up in the story about him being the perpetrator, because it clear as day was not the guy he was talking about. Because as we said, the time that those two met was when he was 13 years old on a movie set, right? The story that Haim had a major problem with was Dom when he turned 15 years old and he was at a party with them. Now, to make this more concrete, Corey Feldman said, "Oh, he met the perpetrator at the soda club place, right? That party, that kid party place." Well, I go, "Oh, okay. So out of all these guys that they named, who did they meet at the soda place?" I eliminated every single person in this story except one person, Dom. And later he pops up and goes, "Charlie Sheen." I go, "That does not fit any portion of your story nor Haim's." And so then he started flipping around and started trying to target his mother. I mean, how crazy is this? He is telling you he has mental problems towards women. That's why he has no care in the world to go after somebody's mother. Because he has problems with his mother. Yeah, so this is where this went. He doesn't get in trouble. He could do whatever the hell he wants, and they let him get away with it. I mean, these people, and then they're ripping me off. I mean, this, yeah, they are. There's this whole other thing. I told people they can go into my past and read the past post. And, I've said bullshit before, in the past. I'm totally open and, you know what I mean? We ain't a perfect human. But I was saying it's still online. And there was a lot of things that I did, and I was quite the trailblazer on this topic. And they, I guess, decided they want to run with the term that I called these people because they're such bottom feeders. And so, yeah, they want to run with it. I don't know which idiot, probably him or the other. I've dragged them both, the people that are on tour right now. Oh, yeah. And so I'm just sitting there going, that's fine. You guys run with it. I mean, I don't know. I guess they want me to get mad. It's just idiotic. It's like putting cheese out for a rat and the rat grabs it and he eats it. And he's like, look at me, I got it. And then all of a sudden the next thing you know, that trap goes on his neck. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, yeah, it's just sort of that thing. But what else can we say about this? I mean, eventually it's going to catch up. And, eventually the right people will get into place to actually finally go after it versus the garbage that was up here in 2016 and to just recently in the recent years. And that YouTube allowed these people to send goons after me, which was insane. I'm like, first of all, I'm allowed to cover the media, and this stuff is actually in the media, so it's not made up. It's me going through it. And so why would they sit there and be able to come here and go, oh, I own the property to it? They don't. That was somebody else. And so because I didn't see it, that was the only thing, because I didn't see it to counter their fake claim. They were very close to taking me down. And I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. But that's what they tried to do. And this is from people that are claiming that they're trying to take the so-and-so down, right? Yeah, no, they're actually trying to take victims down, and they're trying to ward off their conduct from all of them and all their buddies.